Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of VELAMMAL Institute of Technology, Department of Mechanical Engineering, I am extremely honored to welcome by our proficient speaker, Professor C Shivaprakash, is from the Department of Instrumentation, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. His field of interest are electronics instrumentation, analytical instrumentation, embedded and development of a high pressure DTA and its applications, conducting polymers and LEDs. He took his bachelor degree in BSc in 1976 and MSc in 1978, degree from Mysore University. He passed his MSc exam with first rank and got 5 gold medal. He got his PhD degree in 1982 from the Mysore University. He is a recipient of Young Scientist Award 1983 of the Karnataka Association for Advancement of Science. Over the last 42 years of research career, he contributed substantially by publishing and presenting over 170 papers in reputed international and national journals and conference. He has completed many R&D and consultancy projects funded by DRDO, ISRO, DST, UGC, and CSIR. He delivered many keynotes and invited talks at the international and national conference. He is a fellow members of several professional bodies, including the senior membership of IEEE USA, fellow of institutions of electronics and telecommunication engineers, fellow of institutions of engineering and technology, fellow of Instruments Society of India. He is a referee reviewer of many international and national scientific journals, members of Journal Review, Mission of World Bank, TQIP project, mentor, and performance auditor of TQIP funded institutions. Currently, he serves as chairman, expert member in committees of MHRT, ASTE, NBA, NAG, and UGC, New Delhi. He is a member of selection committee of many NITs and universities. He has been serving as a chairman member of governing councils, senate, and academic councils of university and institution. I welcome you once again, Dr. Professor Shivaprakash, and hand over to today's section. Thank you, sir. Shivaprakash.
Yes.
Very, very good afternoon. Thank you for your kind words. And Dr. Kaliyappan is always there with Dr. Basim and VELAMMAL. So this is the second series. You know, cricket has got only cricket match. If you look at it,
Yes.
test match has got 2 innings, but there they have a special 3rd innings also in the new year, January 4th. So those who have missed the bus now, they will be doing. So this is the second innings of their effort, and I congratulate VELAMMAL College of Engineering, or Institute of Technology, for getting the ACT funding for this. Which is a very privileged. Today, this across the country, people can come thanks to COVID. So I thought I can talk to you today about challenges. Challenges are plenty anyway because of the COVID, but opportunities are also there. What is good learning and what is good assessment? They are very, very important in outcome-based education. I thought that I can share some of my views with all of you. So can you see my next slide, please? One of you can just respond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, I thought
Professor, you can maximize, excuse me, Professor, you can maximize the slide show.
I'll do that.
Slide, yeah. Yes, thank you.
Does it? Yeah, now 3rd slide you can see?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, thank you very much. So, it's always nice to know what is the role of a teacher. Not that you don't know. All of you are teachers. all of you know, but I thought we can recollect. Teaching is, of course, a program like yours, colleges requires teaching. Predominantly, teaching is important, but little bit of research. I would say if you give teaching 50-60% weightage, try to give 10-20% also for research. That is very important, because the research will improve the teaching, and teaching in turn will improve your research. So therefore, they go hand in hand. And mentoring is also a very important component, especially after this COVID. The students are there wherever they are. They don't have many gadgets. They don't have books. They don't have many things to write pen. So I think you possibly try to mentor them, keep them cool, so that pandemic, once it is over, when they come back, prepare their minds. Reformer, teachers are reformers. Everyone has been prepared by the teacher. Let them be a doctor, let them be a lawyer, let any citizen, they are all taught by the teacher. So teaching is a very noble profession that way. And ethics is important. I will tell that story a little later. And teachers should be friends. Teacher should be is always a friend to his students. He is a philosopher and is a guide. He should guide the student in the right. And I strongly feel teachers should have three important qualities. One is humor, second one is humility, third one is humanism. Even our Mahatma Gandhi once said, but for my humor, I would have got suicide long ago. So therefore, keep smiling and make others smile. Humility is giving credit to others wherever possible. One example I can give is a chemist wanted to invent iodine, but before him, another scientist has invented, and he proudly said that he invented first. But normally human beings, no, I invented, he got the Nobel Prize, he got the prize. So I think we should have a habit of giving credit to others. Humanism, very important. Whatever little that we can do, not necessarily monetarily, any help that we can extend, we should be. And teachers should benchmark themselves individually and as a department and as an institute. So that is the next, what I want to do, what is the new thing that I like to do in the next 2-3 years in terms of my teaching pedagogy, in terms of my, anything that you do, maybe a project, maybe a research that you do and publish a paper, everywhere you benchmark yourself, for which I think a teacher needs to think differently. Let me tell a little story. VELAMMAL, is a hypothetical story, virtual. So 5 greatest scientists they invited for one of the conference, and they are Aristotle, Einstein, Newton, Heisenberg, and Pauli. So conference was over. At the end of the day, before the dinner, they had time to walk around. They were strolling, and one of the journalists caught them in Chennai and asked a very peculiar question. Journalists are always peculiar, you know that. So the question that is asked to Aristotle was, he saw a chicken was crossing the road. He asked Aristotle, why chicken is crossing the road? Aristotle said, that is in nature of the chicken, because his research is all about understanding the nature. Then came the turn of Newton. Newton said, if chicken is at rest, it will be at rest. If chicken is moving with velocity v, then he started explaining about F equal to ma. Third turn was our great Einstein. Einstein said, I don't know whether chicken has crossed the road or road crossed beneath the chicken, depends on frame of reference. Fixed frame, moving frame, theory of relativity. So the beauty is the question is same, but the answer each one is giving is quite different. That shows the maturity. Fourth person was Heisenberg. Heisenberg said, chicken was moving at a very, very high velocity. I could not measure accurately. Uncertainty principle. If you take momentum and the position, you cannot measure them accurately. Lastly, Pauli is a chemist, Nobel laureate. And he said, no, the chicken has not crossed the road. The road crossed beneath the chicken. I'm sorry. There is already a chicken on the other side. All of us know little chemistry that no two electron can occupy the same energy state. So he feels no two chickens can be one side of the road. So the why I told this story to all of you is that we all have to think differently. So one little small example of Einstein. He is a great teacher. So he conducted an exam, valued the paper and distributed. You know that it's an intransparent system. One of the students went to Einstein. He asked him, "Sir, for question number 1, out of 10 marks, you gave me 0, but the answer I wrote is correct." Then Einstein said, "How do you say that?" "Sir, this question was repeated from last year. I took the notes of my senior and he wrote that answer and got 10 out of 10 last year. And Makika Maki, ditto, I wrote it, I got 0. Einstein said, "What you say is true. The question that you asked, question that I gave last year, question that I gave this year, both are same. The question, answer your senior, what you wrote was the answer at that point of time. Science has grown last 1 year. So the answer to the same question today is different. Therefore, you got 0. So therefore, science is moving, engineering is moving, technology is moving, everything is moving very fast life. So I think we should get adapted to this quickly. So my talk, I thought today I can tell a bit about science, engineering, technology, about a minute, and about education and industry 4.0, which is very, very relevant in the today's new education policy context. And I also let me spend also some time on good learning and virtual lab and online exam. That is the order of the day. Today, we have, most of us are teaching online and most of us are doing online lab, and for which you need technology. So I thought I can spend little time on these things. So as I promised, just to tell you, all of you know the definition, whom we call scientists, whom we call engineers, and whom we call technologists. But what I am trying to say is different. You take a car will not come onto the road unless the scientists understand the braking system, air conditioning, and so on. And finally, the engineers will design and then go to a drawing board. And technologies would bring the car onto the road. So the message is, scientists are important, engineers are important, technologies are important. So in engineering, you do give importance for science, do give importance for all your engineering, and also very nice, all our graduates should acquire knowledge about technology also. Generally, people say scientists won't read, engineers won't write, but I'm sure teachers cannot do. They have to read and they have to write. COVID, according to me, is all about creating opportunity for victory in disaster. So with all that, we have been doing successfully, we are doing, that is a great India and great about. Earlier we had a break before Christ, after Christ, BCAC, but today I want to call it as before Corona and after Corona. March onwards we are into after Corona. So because this Corona, once in 100 years this pandemic comes and we have gone through this phase. Let me spend a minute about education, what it is today. All of you know, 30, 40 years ago, it was teacher-centric. Mere lecturing, memorization was order of the day. People, they used to set a paper, value, and give the credit. But later, the internet came into being, and that changed the scenario to a different scenario in education, which we call it as education 2.0. But quickly we realized that education should lead to knowledge. So therefore, knowledge producing education is more important. That was the era of the education 3.0. But today, all of us know that knowledge alone will not take us anywhere. You need knowledge, you need skill, you need attitude. So this is what we contemplate in the present education system 4.0. So the same way, if you go back and see the history of industry, Industry Revolution 1.0 was in 18th century, where a small production of the machines which are done were powered either by water or steam, very, very small, primitive one. But later in 20th century, in the beginning of the First World War, we started seeing Industrial Revolution 2.0, where mass production took place. You started seeing railway engines on the track. But all of you quickly realize the electronics and information technology transformed into Industry 3.0, autonomous production. You don't have to go to railway station to book a ticket. You don't have to go to airport to book a ticket. Everything you can do. Now, if you have money, you can go to ATM and draw. You don't have to go. But today we are in Industry 4.0, which all the systems are based on cyber physical system. Every physical system that we have can get connected to internet. We call a technology called IoT, Internet of Things. So therefore, why I showed these two slides for all of you, my dear teachers, you have to prepare your graduates with good learning and assessment to enable all our graduates to get quickly adapted to Industry 4.0. A minute about AICT, all of you know induction training. After student joins, student gets induction program. I would think even faculty should get. I think this is one in that series. So I'm very proud VELAMMAL College of Engineering has got a project from AICT funding to conduct this, where teacher trainer, this is like an induction program. You listen to many people, learn many good pedagogy from every speaker. Revision of curriculum, no shortcut, you have to do that. Training of the faculty is important. I'm sure that all of you are going through Swayam platform and in many other ACT, which time permitting, I will tell you at the end. Mandatory internship, we always say for students, but I would think that every faculty should go to industry once a week, in a year, one week per year, and you get to know what their research problems are. You can come back and give them as a project to the student and also take up some research project. Industry readiness will happen because of that. Examination reforms and online, you know how much I will try and tell few things at the later stage. Innovation and startup is very important for any institution. As a teacher, we should motivate the student for good ideas, convert the ideas into project into product, and so on. Accreditation, in the new education policy, without no affiliation system will go in India. Anna University has got 500 college. In future, Anna University become a research university. IIT Madras will become a multidisciplinary educational research university, and VELAMMAL should become teaching university. After 5 or 6, 7, 8 years, you should be giving a degree giving university. There will be 3 different types of universities in the country. So good start is very important. You know that in Olympics, if you want to win a medal, if you are delayed by 0.1 second, you are nowhere. You miss your medal. So therefore, very good start is important. And about quality of education, our great man, Sir C.V. Raman said, I quote, students of today are being taught by teachers of yesterday with curriculum which is of day before yesterday. Just not possible. So we have to abreast with the change of technology, science. I told you how fast. 30, 40 years ago, there are only 2 cars, Ambassador and Fiat. Now today, every nooks and corners, we have different varieties of cars, varieties of manufacture. So coming back to as I promised about learning, what is learning is go with what is important, another factor called retention. What I learn, I should retain. Oh, I spent 5 hours. Is of no use unless you retain. So one of the research says in the pyramid, if you go and attend a lecture, what you retain is only 5%. So therefore, the message is loud and clear. This is a passive. So you need to augment that with many other things. The most important thing that all of you can do is, having heard the lecture, you have to read the material, books or anything. So that will enhance your retention to 10%. This is true for teachers. It's also true for students. If they by just mere attending the class, they will not be learning. So in addition to this, if you can add up this audio visual, which is very prominent today, that will retain retention, it will improve to 20%. And demonstration, that is where, in engineering is doing. We go to lab, do some experiment, then the concepts are clear. So therefore, that will enhance your retention to 30%. Group discussion, very, very important among the student, peer, which I will tell you a little later, that will enhance again 50%. And practice by doing, practical, internship, project, all these things will enhance their retention. What they learn, a concept in the theory class, lab and associated mini project, all those things will enhance them to 75%. And teaching others, wonderful. If a student who is good, smart, can teach his own fellow student, peer, that is what we call active learning. So therefore, just mere hearing a lecture, I call it as a passive. So student engagement is required as a teacher. You make them read, you make them audiovisual thing, make them demonstrations, you facilitate for group discussion and so on. Thereby retention can be reached to 90%. So this is what I think as a teacher, all of us should be doing. What is engineering? Today we talk about outcome-based education. Let's understand what are things that as an engineer we should be doing. I strongly feel that as an engineer, we need to do four things. One is engineering for learning. There is no doubt about it. All of you agree with me. But engineering is also about doing, practice. A doctor, a B.Tech alone will not make them engineer. He is a graduate of UG program B.Tech. He has to practice, then he becomes an engineer. MBBS is not a doctor. He has to practice, then he becomes a doctor. So therefore, practice is important. Third, engineering, why are you doing? Because self-esteem. I am a proud engineer of VELAMMAL College of Engineering. I want to be, I learned there. That kind of a good job they should get. Engineering is for society. They should contribute back to society, not necessarily money in terms of intellectual input. Outcome-based education, as you know, I will not go into the detail, has got, any institution. I told you in the beginning, you should have, individually, you should have benchmarking. So therefore, each institute will have vision. India has a vision. America has a vision. ISRO has a vision. That's how we could send 2 years ago 104 satellites from Shar, where we have even gone to Mars without failure. Nuclear, we are in the great nuclear club, only 4, 5, 6 countries in the world, space club. So therefore, this vision, what you have there in each of your institution, you must make sure that you go towards that. It's not an easy task. So therefore, you write down your vision. How do I reach this vision? I want to become the top 10 colleges in Chennai, in Madras. So therefore, in Tamil Nadu state. So how do I do it? Good teaching, learning, good research, good entrepreneurship. You write down and follow it at department level, program level, institute level, then you try and reach. So therefore, each program that I spoke, civil, mechanical, electrical, they are called program. A department may have many programs, one UG program, second one could be one MTech program, second MTech program. So each program should have objective. Why this program is the first question that we all should be asking. Because I told you, education should lead to knowledge, skill, and attitude. Are we doing it? That all get reflected in POs. Now, vision, mission, POs are broad statement. You can't measure them. So therefore, you need to think of some measurable item. We call it in our Indian system PO, program outcome. Civil UG program need to have outcomes. And also the program should have specific outcomes, PSO. So this, we call it as graduate attributes in American terminology. And how do you reach? Again, you have to go much more specific. That is course, theory, practical, seminar, anything that is project, mini project, everything is called a course. Each course should have an objective and they should have an outcome. So since all of you have been following, let me not spend time. I think the whole next 5 days you'll be keep on hearing, but just I'll spend a minute or two just to recapitulate what are those outcomes are. The first red 5 what I have put are very, very important, 5 pillars. Engineering knowledge. Without engineering knowledge, there is no engineering. So the first year physics, chemistry, mathematics, a little engineering, drawing, all of them will give you enough knowledge. Science, I told you, without science, there is no engineering. Without science and engineering, there is no technology. So problem analysis is another important thing as a graduate of engineering. And graduate engineers should be able to design and develop and find a solutions. And engineers not only design, investigate the complex problem. Not, always keep giving an example. As a computer science fellow, I know C language he climbs, but all that he knows is how to write a program to find the area of the circle using C language. That will not take him anywhere. You need to have good, case studies. You should take, write the codes, and so on. This is true for all engineering. Modern tools. Every institution cannot have everything. Even IIT, given IIT, you cannot have every modern tools. You may have to go to industry, you may have to go to other institutions, and so on. So these are 5 important graduate attributes when they are there with you for 4 years. In addition to this, you need to imbibe them with few more, like engineering and society, environment and sustainability. Today, technology has to sustain, eco-friendly, environment, health, agriculture. So try to give. There may not be a course directly to attain this. So the project that you give, seminar that you give, the tech fest that you do, you can always bring in these concepts. Ethics. Ethics is important. I promise that I will tell you a story about ethics. Sir C.V. Raman was the first Indian Institute of Science director in 1933. Indian director. Otherwise, we had all Britishers earlier. After that, he started one more institute called Raman Research Institute. And he wanted to take 3 research assistants. So advertised, thousands of applications, shortlisted. Finally, they sent 5 people to interview by Raman himself, Sir C.V. Raman. So interview is over, he selected 3. At the end of the day, he was walking out of the Raman Research Institute. And he saw a student who attended the interview walking very, very dejectedly. He stopped his car and asked him, why you are so dejected? Is it because you did not get selected in the interview? The boy says, no, sir. I was given a small travel grant for attending the interview, and your office staff has given 15 paisa ane that time, that he gave more. I went there to return the money. He was not there. Then Raman said, are you in Bangalore? Can you come and meet me tomorrow? Who doesn't like to meet C.V. Raman again? He went there, he called the person, settled the account, and Sir C.V. Raman said, you have failed in the physics interview, but you have passed in the honesty. I am creating a 4th position, and if you are interested, you can come and join me tomorrow. Happily accepted, joined, and later he did everything, went to America, and he became a Nobel laureate. So that 4th person got the admission because of his honesty, ultimately becomes a Nobel laureate. So this is what is called ethics. All of us as a teacher, we should go on time, we should leave class on time, we should do our duty, then student will follow. Even today, I remember my high school teacher. So that is what ethics is about. Individual and teamwork, very important. Individually, a project, 4 of them together. I asked long ago, 30 years ago, when I was interviewing some of the students, what is the contribution of your project? They said, 4 of us took 5,000 rupees from our parents and then went to a company, they gave a project. That is not a project. Project is something you should do. So 4 of them, individually how they work, as a team how they work, you should assess. Communication is important. Without that, it's extremely difficult to get employability. Project management, finance, and lifelong learning. We should make them lifelong learner. So coming back to learning, it's like a triangle. First corner of the triangle is as a good learning instructional strategy. Each one of you as a teacher, what is the plan? How do I do? Teacher plan is, this day I do this day. That is not plan. In that, what do I do? What did I do last year? What improvement can I do? Some strategy. What pedagogy that I use? run-based, project-based. That is called strategy. That strategy is extremely important for a teacher. The second corner is an assessment. So mere teaching will not be the end of the road for teacher. He should find a good assessment tools, good setting a good question paper. So this finally will lead to the third corner of the triangle, outcome. So outcome, if it has to come, the strategy of a teacher to teach, strategy of a student to learn, and the assessment tool that you do will be very important. So learning, what is learning then? Learning is about acquiring the new knowledge, new behavior, new skill, values, and understanding. What is good learning? That takes place when learners are clear about what they should be do at the end of the learning. At the end of the lecture, at the end of the semester, at the end of the year, at the end of 4 years, what did I learn? That is all measurable through outcome. That is called outcome. So therefore, there should be an alignment among the instruction, assessment, and outcome. So what is outcome? Output is different, outcome is different. 100 student join, all 100 pass is output. 95% got the job is output. Outcome. Of the 100, 25 people have become distinction. 70 got first class. That is called outcome. And 20 of them got a good company. Their average salary is so high. So they are called employability. So employability is the domain in which you learn, you go and join. I learn civil and then go to a company where just go in the morning, log in something, log out. That is not. That's a job. That is outcome. Output. Outcome is what is a learner will be able to do or perform after the experience, after learning this. So again, since all of you are very familiar, I will skip. But if the learning, according to a great man Bloom, he said, takes place in 3 different domains. What are they? Cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And most of the engineering comes under cognitive. And again in cognitive, he said there are 6 levels in which we learn. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So this is called Bloom level B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6. So what happens in remember level? Concepts. Thermodynamic first law, there is no shortcut, you have to mug up. That is called remembering. You have to remember. Second, having remembered, you need to understand those concepts and explain them. That happens in the second Bloom level, understand. And in engineering is not just remember and understand, that whatever I remember and understand, I need to apply to the new situation. That is our third level of Bloom. And having applied, you should be able to analyze as an engineer. Connection, ideas you to be able to connect, breaking down the information into components. That is called analysis. Analysis is very important. What others have done, what is that I do? Finally, you have to evaluate. Suppose you design something, software or hardware. How do you justify your design? How do you evaluate? How do you say yours is better than others? This all is the 5th level. 6th is creative. That cannot happen in every class, every lab, every seminar. This happens when you do a good project. So project of good type is a creative, original work, some new idea, some new thing, new app that is done. So why I showed you, though it is a repetition, because very important. As a teacher, why, the course that you teach, which level I am in. Most of the people will think, no, my course has got all the 6. It's almost impossible. What to teach in the 3rd semester cannot have the higher Bloom level. So therefore, a teacher should write the outcome, So that I will come if time permitting, one example I will. So learning should promote something, isn't it? When do we say learning is promoted? When existing knowledge is activated and with a foundation of the new knowledge. Any learning should give some new idea, new thing, that is not the end. New knowledge is demonstrated to a learner. And new knowledge is applied to a learner. So you have to demonstrate, you have to apply. This finally integrated in the learner's world. So what is the guiding principle of the, this I will skip maybe one of time. So I told you in the triangle, there are first is strategy. So I will try to give you some strategies, which of course, most of you are following, which is non-exhaustive. You can keep on adding. of course, you know, you all of you must have been following problem-based learning. This is one strategy. Project-based, anything that you do, form as a project and then explain to them with case studies and so on. Hands-on learning. You must be you must have been teaching from last 5 years. What did I learn new? Incorporate. That is also called experiential learning. With your experience, you should pass on to your student. Don't keep your experience within yourself. And another strategy is internship. Everything cannot be in the classroom or a lab so that is where the concept of internship is there, where between first year, second year, third year, fourth year, at the end, students do go and do. Unfortunately, this year, because of pandemic, of course, even now they are doing online internships. So internship experience also is up. Here I want to add, even teachers should try and go to other industries once a year, possibly 4 or 5 days, so that you get some idea, get some problem. You can have collaboration, you get some consultancy projects. So therefore, internship experience is also very important for teachers. And another two things which are now, without saying it goes, flipped classroom and blended. What is flipped classroom? Everything that we do, we cannot learn 9 to 5 o'clock. You can learn in the evening, Saturday, Sunday, now everything is available online. So blended is how much online, how much everything you cannot learn by online. Technology will not substitute teacher. Teacher cannot be replaced by technology. If everything is done by just ICT, nothing will happen. So teachers are important. So therefore you have MOOC courses, Swayam, and so on. Another important strategy is co-curricular experience. You have tech fest, you have any other things, quiz. So try to give them something, some area in which you think that student can learn, self-learning. That is another important strategy all of you can adopt while teaching. The last three is about peer instruction. The student among them, you try to find out fast learner, slow learner. Personalized learning is going to be order of the day. So quickly you have to find out who is a fast learner, who is a slow learner, who is medium, pair them. Let's say 3 students of one fast, one medium, and one slow learner. This is called pairing. The advantage is in pairing, they share the ideas. The fellow who knows will pass on to them. Peer, this is called thinking. So all the 3 of them think, each one of them are good in something, they pair themselves, they share their idea. This is what generally we call it as active and cooperative learning. And in general sense, this is called peer instruction or peer mentoring or peer learning. If parents tell, they don't. If teachers tell, they say yes, but they don't. But the friends, senior student, that is what one of the strategy all the teachers can adopt while doing teaching. I think I can give one example. I spoke about vision, mission, and also PEOs, which are very broad. Therefore, we enter into a specific statement called outcomes. We had about 12 outcomes, of which 5 are extremely highly correlated. And if we want to do, I told you, you have to go to very specific outcomes of every course. I just one theory course of an example of computer science data structure I will give, which is true for all branches of engineering. So a teacher, intelligent teacher wrote 6 outcomes. The first outcome he writes, comprehend different operations on various data structure. Comprehend is understand. That is second level of Bloom. The last CO is on design. Design solution for application. So this is a very intelligent way of doing. And it is not enough if you write the outcome. You have to measure them. You have to have an assessment tool that I will speak about in a couple of minutes. So therefore, assessment is very important. What is assessment? What is evaluation? People get confused. So there is both of them. Most of the teachers say both of them are same. They're not quite right. Assessment is a measure of performance, and evaluation is interpretation of the assessment. What is the example? You do test 1, test 2, quiz 1, quiz 2. You do some assignment 1, assignment. They are called assessment tools. Use this tool and interpret, and they say is a first class, is CGPA is 8. This is called interpretation of this assessment. 50 marks for continuous, 50 whatever. So therefore, these two are very important, assessment and evaluation. So this assessment drives the student for learning. Imagine there is no assessment, student would not have learned anything. That is the motivation for them. So therefore, these tools should be informed to all the. So this assessment tool has got two characteristics. There is one is called qualitative and assessment quantitative. If you take basically assessment, we can call them as three different types: diagnostic assessment, formative assessment, and third one is summative. Diagnostic is you must find out quickly in a week or two where our students are, what is their background, what can they learn, what is gap analysis you should do. That is called diagnose. Like a doctor, when you go, they will diagnose and then they give medicine. So the first assessment that you should do when they join the college, diagnosis, or join your course in the second, third semester also, you should find out prerequisite, how much they know, what should I tell in the first two class, all this called diagnosis. So formative is continuous, your test, assignments, quiz. Summative is final, 3 hours exam that you conduct. So therefore, the summative should be less weightage, because students should not be judged on 3 hours, whatever they learnt in 1 year. So therefore, validity and reliability of our assessment is important. Degree to which your assessment measure. I give, answer book to 5 teachers. If all of them deviate so much in their valuation, that is not correct. So each one should be within plus minus 5 marks or 5% of the marks. Reliability is important, consistent. For instance, GRE, all of you know, scores are valid for 5 years. So they make reliable. Student to write now, student to write next year, student to write next year, all of them are assessed in a benchmarking way. Why they do is they use MSQ, not MCQ. What is MSQ? Multiple selection question. There are questions in GRE where all the 4 answers are right. In our multiple ABCD, one of them right, and then possibility of getting 25 out of 100, which is not there in that exam. All answer could be wrong. 1 can be right, 3 can be wrong, and so on. All combination they put, that is the reliability. That is why the GRE score is valid for 5 years. Student, they assess independent of the year, independent of the exams, that kind of a quality of the question paper they set. So if you are doing summative final exam, you need to worry about 2 things. One is what we call it as difficulty level. Another is called complexity. What is difficulty? Question paper difficulty, a good question paper is one where average student should be able to score 40. Next is 50, 60. Now, no, I set a question, nobody could answer, it's not the best question paper. On the other hand, I set a question where everybody can answer and get full marks. That's also not a good question paper. So complexity is important. I give one example. You may put a question which is non-engineering question that I like to give. What is the capital of Tamil Nadu? So that is Bloom level 1, remembering. Everybody writes and get 1 out of 1. Let us, a teacher wants to make it more complex. What he does is, in India has got 30 states, he gives the same remembering level, Bloom level. Another question, what are the capitals, 30 capitals of 30 states of India, capitals of 30 states of India. So though Bloom level is same, the question is more complex now. The student has to remember 30. So this is what you can do while setting the question papers, in the outcome-based education. So question bank is a good idea. That is where GRE question bank, the software decides this difficulty level. There could be an exam in March, exam in June, 4 times a year, but the complexity they bring in. GATE, they are trying to do. Civil engineering, one set of students may write this Sunday, next another Sunday. How do we make both the question paper of equal platform, equal difficulty? There are softwares which are available. So therefore, question bank is a good idea. I'm sure that all of you must be following. Now there are tools where you can use it. I'm so sorry. That's not the end of my talk. Sorry for pressing the wrong one. So coming back to the assessment, question bank, then finally you have, I give 2 examples, simple examples. Let us take the example of continuous evaluation. You have a system where 50 marks. So a teacher has found out 6 assessment tools. Not that you can have only these 6, you can have different things also. I've seen one teacher in America where he doesn't do anything but still assess. That is, he writes a rubric, which I will come little later. So you can see T1, T2, T3, 15, 15, and 5, 5 for quiz and assignment, 5, 5, 30, 50 marks I allocate. And I give, and I conduct a first test after 2-3 weeks of teaching, and then we'll have 15 marks, and questions will be on CO1, CO2, CO3, understanding level, application level. Second test I conduct after, before almost 1 or 2 weeks before the end of the course, for 15 marks on CO4, CO5, understanding and application, 2 marks for understanding, application on CO4. Similarly, 2 for understanding and 6 for application on CO5. In the beginning, I conduct quiz. Quiz, all of you know, is only remembering. So I do on CO1, CO2 quiz and then allot 5 marks. Another quiz at the end for CO4, 5, CO6. 2 assignment I will give somewhere in the middle. I will give again assignment. I will on CO2, CO3, CO4, remembering and understanding. And last assignment I give an application. That will be for another 5 marks. So you can see the distribution. A teacher has intelligently distributed for quiz, for assignment, for test from beginning to end. This is what we call it as continuous evaluation. This is formative. So this is where student can be assessed more, that's a relief. This another I will not repeat. This is for an end exam for 100 marks, same CO1, CO6. Now in our system, somebody else set the question paper, somebody evaluate. But the real system is one where a teacher who teaches should set the question, but that we are yet to come because of the number game, big number, big, our numbers are very, very large. Now, the second thing, assessment tool, what I told, scheme, you should write. Scheme is what? I have 10 marks. You have to divide them. If a student answers this part, I will give you 3 marks. Answer this kind, I will give another 2 marks. So that is, then the evaluation becomes more reliable. Otherwise, somebody out of 10, they give 8, 6, variations will be there, this variation by scheme. But if you want to do, I want to assess project cannot be done. Most of the people 10 years ago, they were doing 100 marks, 50 for writing thesis, 50 for viva. That has no meaning. You have to have a rubrics for project, for internship, for seminar. So rubrics is also an assessment tool. So what we do in rubrics is, I give an example. Let us say you have a project. Project has got futures, all of you know. There are 10 futures, 10 parameters. I divide into typically 5 into 50 marks. And again, 5, I must tell my student, when do you get 5 out of 5? When do you get 4? When do you get 3? When do you get 2? When do you get 1? This is what called rubrics. That is, when do I say you're excellent? When do you say very good? When do I say good? This is the philosophy of rubric. With this example, I think it's more clearer to all of you. Every project has got this component, most of this component. Problem definition. Without defining the problem, no project can be done. A project, if you want to really move, then you have to do literature survey. What others have done, what is the new that I can do? After that literature survey, some gaps you find out, define your problem, then find out a methodology. After this methodology, you design hardware or software. Having design, you have to test. Then at the end of the project, you have to present before a committee. Then you have to write a dissertation, writing skill. Then teamwork, 4 of them in UG they do. So that is another future. And some project can be on societal, some can be on environmental, some can be on anything else. So therefore, in a department, all of you should sit and write down the rubrics. That will be time consuming in the first year, but later, this is a wonderful way to incentivize the student and differentiate who is good, who is not. We cannot be giving same marks for everybody, all the 4 students, for all the 60 students. So this is what I just give one example. Same data structure, if you take, let us say one parameter, first one is approach to the problem definition. When do I give 5? When I implement most appropriate data structure with accurate and optimized, I will tell my student, I will give 5 out of 5. A student who implements the right data structure Whereas with the correct logic, but it is not optimized, then I will give 4. Similarly, the second parameter of the project could be algorithm that they write, whether it works. If the algorithm that they write works for all the cases, they will get 5 out of 5. If it works for 75%, it becomes 4 marks, and so on. Lastly, report writing is format all right, literature all right, reference all right, methodology all right, writing is okay, grammar, give 5 out of 5. If something, 4, when do you give 4? You define. This is the philosophy of writing the rubrics. So very important assessment tool, especially for project and especially even for internship, you can use this. So the blue, in essence, what I told so far is there are 6 levels in cognitive: remember, understand, apply, analytical. So when you are doing assessment, remembering simple MCQ question, true, false, matching, fill up the blanks, we do. But when you go to understanding level, then you have to have some simulation, animations, and tutorial questions. In apply level, in addition to MCQ, short answer, essay type, tutorial, simulation, games, and add case studies. Case studies are very important. And higher Bloom level, analyzing, evaluating, creating, which doesn't happen every day's class and all that. In addition to your MCQ, essay, project, portfolio, presentation, paper, like project assessments, virtual labs, case studies, you can come. So this is the assessment tool that gets more complex when you go from remembering level to creative level. So in essence, what I told is the course that you teach is very important, very specific. Therefore, that outcome will lead to the program outcome. You have to map it. This program outcome, along with the program specific outcome that you write, will lead to the program educational objective. So then after that, P was mission. It should lead to mission. Otherwise, why did we write the mission of the department? Mission of this. So therefore, finally, this is the philosophy of outcome-based education. I'm sure that in the 5 days, all finer points that you will build, I thought of giving only the bird's eye view. Einstein said, I never try to teach my student anything. I only try to create an environment where they can learn. So outcome-based education is all self-study. Everything you need not teach. Give them something also to think. Give them something to write as an assignment, as a quiz, and so on. So basically, a learner, teacher is a learner, I would think. William Watts at least says there are 5 different types of teachers. A mediocre teacher, what does it do? It tells. He reads up in the night, goes and vomit in the class. A good teacher, what does it do? He explains. That is important. A perfect teacher demonstrates. You should demonstrate. Any concept that you told in engineering with examples, with project-based, problem-based, that is what is important. And a gifted teacher inspires. This is what Einstein says. I never teach, but I give an environment. A modern teacher facilitates. So I want all of you who are attending, I'm very happy that 38, even after lunch, 38 people are attending. Mediocre, I want all of you to be gifted teachers who inspires all our students and who are modern teachers who facilitates. This is an olden day teacher. You have different varieties of teachers. Of course, your students are heterogeneous in the class, but you had a peculiar students. One is crow, monkey, penguin, elephant, and so on. So he wanted to give an assignment to them at the end of the class. So the simple assignment he says is all of you go and climb the tree. And he writes a rubrics, very intelligent teacher. Those who go on the top of the tree get 5 out of 5, who is excellent. If you go 75% of the tree, you get 4 marks. This is an example for good rubrics. Those who cannot climb will get 1 mark. Those who go 25% will get 2 marks. So exercise started. Crow went quickly. He got 5 out of 5. Fast learner. Monkey could not, because a big tree, it could go only 75%, got 4. Penguin managed with struggle with half of it and got 3 marks. Elephant, so he said, no, this assignment is too difficult. Then teacher said, you get 1 mark, but in the new assignment, you do well. And so this is how rubrics and assessment tool that. So therefore, there is a huge paradigm shift now. All written exam, which we used to have last 20, 30 years, will all become coursework. Tutor-led assessments will become student-led assessment. Implicit will become explicit. Competitions will become collaboration. Product assessment will become process assessment. Objectives will become outcome. Content becomes competencies. Course assessment becomes modular assessment. Advanced level becomes assess prior learning. Today in America, if you want to go, you have to put everything there in the net and then go. That is happening in India too now because of COVID. So this is what the paradigm shift. So therefore, all of us should become innovative. I told you the innovative is problem solving, open discussion during the tutorials, acquaintance with the real case studies you should take up, cooperative learning, make student, I told you, peer mentoring, project-based learning, and all these things essentially you can keep on adding to this list. So finally, education should lead to 4 important things. One is knowledge, second is know-how, third is wisdom, fourth is character. What is knowledge? All of us know, to understand the basic principle either formally or non-formally. That is not the end of the education. Education should say know-how. Know-how means what? To do things rightly. What is the right thing to do? They should be able to judge. That is called education. Third, to set priority. What should I do first? What should I take it up as second? That is important. And third, fourthly, character. To make trustworthy. I am a proud alumni of VELAMMAL, they should tell. Respectable member of the society. So I skip few. So therefore, today, you know that in education 4.0, I told you that there is a huge shift in the online and blended mode. So assessments have changed. Flipped classrooms have come. Now, if things doesn't happen, improve, split classroom. What is split classroom? 60 students of one branch, all of them, because of social distancing, you may have to call 30 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Another 30 will come on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. 3 days online, 3 days offline. So blended, flipped class, split class, all those things will happen. Lab also, you may have to split. Finally, innovative pedagogy should enable the following. My learning should lead to critical thinking, problem solving. If I don't know how to solve the problem, I am not an engineer. Reasoning. If I design something, why my design is better than others? Creativity is important. Anything that we do. Imagination. Innovation. We have to be innovative. A fellow who first thought I can bicycle with 2 wheels is a great innovation. Today, all of us go in the bicycle, we don't feel, but the first he thought that we can even balance is an innovation. Wright brothers thought we can fly. Today, we can go across the world. That is innovation. It need not be that big innovation, but small innovation in teaching, learning, we can always. Entrepreneurship is going to be out of the day. So we have to prepare our student in this direction. That is very, very, very important in today's context. So therefore, the trends are changing today in the learning. Now, one is diverse time and diverse place. Today, I'm in Bangalore. You are there in Chennai. Some of them are there wherever they are across the country. That is called diverse place. Diverse time, we follow one Indian standard time. There is no diverse. But if somebody is giving a talk from America in the morning, their American time, for us, it will be evening. So it is diverse time. That is what is happening in the trend. Personalized learning, artificial intelligence has come. We are learning through, you are fast learner, slow learner, all these things you have to qualify. Free choice. Most of the time I see choice is only for the institution or for teachers, but choice should be for student. If there are 4 elective, if there are 60 students, 15 students should select this. Now what is happening in most of the countries, because of the teachers, are not available, they say this course only will be mandatorily offered. So that elective, what we call, becomes also core. Project based, we have understood. Field is internship. Data interpretation is important for engineer. Exam will change, I have written, but I have already changed. Student ownership. They should own. It is my institute. I have to learn in 4 years, whatever then, for which teachers have to. Mentoring will become more important for teachers. I told you in the beginning, as a teacher, just not teaching, just not research, mentoring plays a major role, then you are a reformer. So in the 21st century learning, there are various things color-wise you can see. One is, in the new education policy, everything is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. Across the department, you should go. Compartmentization of civil, mechanical, electrical, they all go away. So therefore, little bit of, technology is important. Neuroscience people have their own technology, but artificial intelligence are coming in medicine, education. Time permitting, I will tell 3, 4, 5 minutes at the end. Soft skills are important. Time management is important. Teamwork is important. Technical skill, managerial skill, all these things are going to be very important in 21st century learning. Creativity, dealing with uncertainty. Today we are facing COVID. How do we deal? How do we innovate? Lifelong learning. Finally, that should lead. We have access 24/7 thanks to this digitization. Networking has become has become interdependent now. I cannot be alone. In the personalized, adaptive, flexible. We have to change to the scenario quickly. Only 1 minute about ACT, ATALs are there, ARPIT is there. And today, 40 years ago, when I was going for a winter school to Delhi, I used to go in a train for 2 days and then learn. Now today, you go to ARPIT or even today ACT workshop like this, you can learn sitting wherever you are. NEET is another platform which has come up recently. All your companies, corporates have come together and virtual labs they are creating for the benefit of people who are, every college I told you cannot have afford to have this technology, very expensive. So they are trying to come out with some model. Government college will get free, some 25% they want to charge for private. Swayam are there, Swayam platform, Margadarshak and so on. So exams have changed. Lab conductions, possibly also, virtual labs are happening. So that vlab.co.in, all IITs and CO, College of Engineering, Pune, some good few institution, university, they have done. All of you must be using some LMS, learning management system. Could be Google, could be G Suite, could be Moodle, could be Turnitin. Is also a wonderful package where similarity test is being done. So now 10 skills today, Industry 4.0 expects. I already told problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, etc., cognitive flexibility. They cannot be in a job for 30 years in same organization. After 5 years, they may move. They have to learn new things. That is called flexibility. Cognitive learning should be flexible. That we should prepare them. Lastly, technology is important. So I wrote an equation which is not correct. IT plus IT equal to IT. What possibly I meant was first IT is information technology yesterday plus information technology today equal to information technology tomorrow. So we have gone through in 2000 information technology. Later we saw biotechnology. Today GT, geotechnology. Lot of explorations are going on. Geoinformatics, bioinformatics, biology, computer science. So this is what is going to come. So today's research is tomorrow's technology. So technology is very important, especially a country like ours. All of you know, agriculture is main thing in our country. So therefore, food security, health is a big problem. Giving a good health to everybody is important. Now, insulin, today vaccine they have to do for COVID. Anything we do is very expensive for the government. So therefore, they are coming, just to give an example, America has found out 2 vaccines, which have to be stored at -70. Can we think that vaccine to be used in India? Impossible. We cannot have a storage of -70 degree in every health center. Why forget about health center? Even in Bangalore, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras, there also many hospitals cannot afford. So therefore, thanks to our initiatives, Pune, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, they have started making our own vaccine. The vaccine that America makes is about 4,000, 5,000 rupees. The vaccine that we cannot afford, 135 crore population. Into 2 shots is about 270. So therefore, we are now innovating to find a vaccine of 200 to 250 rupees per vaccine, and which can be stored in simple refrigerator. So that is called India. That is innovative India. Of course, theirs may be more effective, 95%, 100%. Ours could be 80, 85%. It's all right. Assuming the price, assuming, we cannot match with that, but this will serve our purpose. If I vaccinate this, at least we can avoid the spread. That is very important. So, therefore, I just gave an example. Drug delivery, infrastructure, plenty of things are happening. Climate change. So, therefore, we need to worry about this technology. All of you by now know many technologies that are being there. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, cyber security, data science, quantum computing, 3D printing and design. This is called additive manufacturing, product design and all that they use. Blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality. I just listed only 8, 9. As you can see from this, they are all multidisciplinary. Let's say artificial intelligence and robo. If you take one technology, just I give 1 or 2 example just to illustrate that it has a lot of potential next 5, 10 to 15 years. In education, I told you about fast learner, slow learner. That is called personalized learning. How much each one is learning, how do I take him to the next level, how good he was in coding. These things are all can be done through artificial intelligence. Proctor system in examination, very important. So that can be done through artificial intelligence. Just to give a couple of examples in medicine, AI and robo AI is being used for diagnosis. It helps the doctor to diagnose the diagnose the disease. And also not only diagnosis, but also it is being used in conjunction with robo for surgeries also. So therefore, AI and robo will play a major role. So an institution like yours can projects in small area with innovative thinking. That is why I'm showing this in a greater detail. Blockchain is something to do with engineering and of course management, e-commerce, e-transaction, everything that happens today is all. So that is about blockchain. The whole GDP, what we talk, whatever the e-commerce, everything comes under that. May not be very, very specific to our engineering at the moment. Genetic also is more towards biology. Every gene, all 135 population of India, each DNA, RNA, are fingerprints. So therefore, that is also being exploited for even vaccine generations and so on. Because when you make a vaccine, it works for everybody, 80-year-old person, small child, chronic case. So therefore, that is where genetic engineering comes into picture. Genetic testing comes into picture. What is more important for you is 3D printing. I'm sure that most of you, printing are available for few thousand to few lakhs and few crores. Additive manufacturing. You design something and if you want to quickly, you take a shield that you have today in the corona, face shield, that can be designed quickly by using 3D printer. So 3D printer product design that we talk, it's interesting because when you talk about design, your product design or any of these, you need across mechanical engineers, electronics engineers, everybody has to come together. Augmented virtual reality. You must have seen IIT Madras about a month or 1.5 months ago did convocation, virtual convocation. They took all the photographs of the candidates, the guest, animated, and in the convocation you could see a robo moving and collecting the gold medal from the guest. This is all possible because of augmented and virtual reality. An experiment which is impossible 10 years ago can be conducted by using VR and SR. So this is going to play a major role in years to come. Autonomous vehicle, fantastic. We may not have driverless in India in very near future because of the chaotic traffic conditions. It is there already elsewhere in the world, Europe, America. But what is going to play a major role in India is electric vehicle. So there is one project with BHEL and then NIT Tiruchi is going on where it is not just a car that we can see few cars on the road, be it a scooter, car, even bus and trucks will come in another 2, 3, 4 years with electric. You may see after 5 years there may not be petrol bunk, there may not be any diesel or petrol. Charging station, moving charging station is happening in Europe. So we have to work on batteries. We have to work on these vehicles. So there is a huge potential for all of us in here. Hyperloop, a fantastic technology, may not be very directly useful immediately, but the technology goes like this. 3 months ago, I saw in Japan, they could go 500 kilometers in 10 minutes. You can't even go by aeroplane. Aeroplane can go 800, 900 kilometers per hour. So underground, they do it. It is happening in Europe. A small test has been done in Pune also about 2 months ago. So people want to go from Bangalore or Chennai to Delhi can go. That takes time, but there are technologies are coming in hyperloops. This is called hyperloops. Without hurdle fast, how can we go? See, in our heritage, it was there earlier. People used to go one Maharaja to another Maharaja to hide themselves or to go and fight. They used to have underground things, so that's all happening in a different way in today technology. Last one is smart cities. Fantastic opportunity for all engineers, be it civil engineers, because a lot of infrastructure, buildings. It has got potential applications for electrical engineers. You may have to make a solar PV cell things. So where electrical engineers will have potential to, jobs. Electronics, CS, IT, communication is important. So a smart city, it will not become smart unless you have good communication, good roads, good hospital, good building. So this 100 smart cities that is being contemplated in India, I'm sure that it will grow in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Many cities should become smart. So therefore, there's a huge thing. So I would think that a college like yours can take small project, small local problems, and then try to solve them. So future India, is great. We used to have only made in India. Make a product, label made in India. Those days are gone now. Now it is make in India. New foreign investment. We give job to our people. We make profit. Part of the profit we have to give it to them. That is the concept of make in India. Otherwise, the company will come and then they will dictate all the terms. They will fix but that is not correct. Digital. This all requires digital India. Future India is a digital. Digital infrastructure as an utility to every citizen. Citizens are empowered now. We don't know how to live without a mobile phone today. If mobile, you can forget your food packet, but you will never forget your mobile before going to office and college. Even if you forget, you go back and bring it. Oh, you can manage, but no. You go back, you drive back, get your mobile. So all e-governance, e-commerce, everything is happening in India. So possibly to achieve this quality, today new education policy, as all of you know, demands a lot of things from the college and from teachers. Multidisciplinary, holistic, just to name a few, multiple entry, multiple exit. A student can leave and then come back and join. If he leaves 1 year, you have to give a certificate. In the present, you cannot give because in first year he read some physics, chemistry, mathematics, and some little bit of little engineering, drawing and so on. You have no skill. So skill is going to play a major role. Knowledge, definitely need skill. This skill, if you want to do, you need to have every institution. You have to, every year, all of you should come out with a tinkering lab. Students should, if Korea and Japan are there like this today, because reverse engineering, re-engineering, that is important, which we don't. We only keep on getting things from outside. How long? We have to make our own. So tinkering lab should be there in every college. all of us should, make our student to learn. We thought that the polytechnic students only should learn. No, without skill, in future, engineering student will not have job. That is one reason why the admission is going to become more tougher and tougher, more difficult and difficult. So therefore, you have to identify yourself a good learning system, where we are good in, where we have to now market. This education also is, of course, market. In the market, how do you sell yourself, your product? So teachers are important. Good teaching is important. Good assessment is important. And especially the engineers whom you produce, if they have to be employable, because they have to become entrepreneur or they have to go for companies, not government jobs are a dream. So therefore, I thought I can motivate you in the last 90 minutes to tell about what is required in today's technical education. To achieve this quality, whatever I said so far, we need to work together, collaborate with each other, tolerate the differences, respect the diverse view. Who else can have other than teachers? You have to have views. If all of you don't have views, then you are not a teacher. But you may, in a democratic setup, 80% of them agree on something, even other 20% agree to agree, but not agree to disagree. Because in a democratic, we have to move on. Your idea is also good, but 80% of them felt another idea is better than yours. Accept. Because none of us is as smart as all of us. All of us together certainly can take our department, our program, our institute, our state, our college, our India to a greater height. So I stop here. I open the discussion for question session. If now the number has grown 46, I'm very happy. Hope like Indian cricket, they're struggling to score. Slowly we are going. Now I'm sure that this workshop will take you to the next level in your teaching and learning process. I congratulate Dr. Kalyapan, Dr. Basim, and all the faculty of the VELAMMAL for their effort. Very, very important. In fact, all of us should thank them. They have created this platform, and they are a second series of this talk they are in, and people are there across the country. Even, I don't want 400 who are not interested in sleeping in the class. 40, 50 who are interested, if they can gain something out of this 5-day workshop, that I think the success rate is one of the parameter I would say is. So congratulate the VELAMMAL for their effort. So I stop here and over to Dr. Kalyapan.